Hangzhou is renowned as one of the most prosperous cities in China and has been ranked #1 on China's Cities of Opportunity list. Because of its nature, architecture, and sheer beauty, Hangzhou is commonly referred to as Shanghai's Garden. It was the host of the 2016 G20 Summit, which was the first and only time it has ever been held in China. It is one of the most paperless cities in the world, and thanks to startups and the tech giant Alibaba, Hangzhou has even been called China's Silicon Valley. I have had the pleasure of living in Hangzhou part-time for the past year, and I have to say, it is one of my favorite cities in the world. It has a lot of unique things to offer. The wetlands, the West Lake, plenty of rivers, temples, and scenic mountains. I mean, there's so many little things that make Hangzhou so cool. Not to mention the transportation is phenomenal. If you like Chinese food, it's top-notch. The Chinese culture is still alive here. And besides just how beautiful everything is, it's still a big city. So there's always something to do. I mean, I've really enjoyed my time here. And I could say a lot about Hangzhou, but I thought it might be better to hear from some people who've lived here a lot longer than I have. So I sat down with a couple of my good friends, and I asked them what they thought about Hangzhou.
Yeah, I came to Hangzhou after I researched a bit about where I should go and teach English, and China looked like the best place to teach English, had the most money, most job opportunities. So I just looked at all the best cities in China, and the major thing on my mind was that it was relatively not polluted and also not too many foreigners. I really didn't want to go to a city that had lots of Chinese people that could speak English, because I really wanted to learn Mandarin properly. And after research just on the internet, I just found out that Hangzhou seemed to be the best place, and yeah, I chose that. There's this place near the West Lake. That's one of the most famous bits of Hangzhou. It's the most famous scenic spot, and there's a little mountain near that, and you can look over this famous bridge called Broken Bridge. And just up there, even though you're still in China, it's really quiet, and at night time, especially when the air's not polluted, you know, after a bunch of rain and maybe wind, and you just look on the lights, you know, there's skyscrapers in Hangzhou are nicely lit. They have patterns and stuff, and yeah, you watch the people walking over the bridge, and it's just so beautiful. That's probably my favorite thing in Hangzhou. I haven't been to that many other cities. I've never been to Beijing. I've been to Shanghai. When I went to Shanghai, I just thought all the Chinese culture was gone. Like, pretty much anyway. I mean, you know, sometimes you'll just see these really ghetto-looking parts, in a good way, of China. You know, like a dirty alley, or you know, just people sitting in a weird way. You know, the Asian squat, and I don't know, or there'll be this really nice communal thing where, you know, all the mothers and their grandparents, and you know, and the mothers' mothers will be playing with the kids, and they'll be playing with all the other kids. There's just this really communal atmosphere, and a place like Shanghai doesn't have that. It's just fully international, heaps of white people, and that just kind of takes away from the Chinese experience. But in Hangzhou, there aren't a ridiculous amount of white people. And yeah, I definitely feel that China is my home now. I mean, I do worry about the future a lot. You know, I don't know if they're gonna just get too strict and be like, look, you know, we don't need you anymore, get out, you're deported. And then I'm stuck in Australia with no skills, difficult to get a job. So that's a kind of scary situation, and I don't know if I should only be here a little bit more, like maybe 2 more years and then go back to Australia. But I really don't want to, because I love the culture of China. So yeah, it's a bit of a tricky situation, but I definitely feel like it's my home.
I moved to China, Hangzhou, China, in 2016. And I have to say, a lot has changed from when I first got here. The way the people treat you, the way the city looks, the infrastructure, a lot has changed. As for the beauty of the city, it is considered one of China's more beautiful cities. It's got the West Lake. It's got some mountains surrounding the city. You can do hikes up there, ride your bike around the West Lake. Really nice, lots of trees, lots of parks, lots of greenery here. The public transportation, incredible. Some of the best I've ever seen. You got your share bikes, you've got subways, buses, anything you need, they've got it. Some of my favorite things about Hangzhou is the fact that it's not a touristy city. It's just not. The size of this city, it's not super spread out. So if you're on a bicycle, you can really hit every spot of the city for the most part. And but it's not so big to where it's just gonna be tourist traps everywhere and Western stuff everywhere. You definitely feel like you're in China when you're in Hangzhou, and you definitely get the sense of the traditional side of the Chinese culture. Life in Hangzhou is great because everything in Hangzhou is going to be within 10 minutes or less. Okay, if you want to go to a shopping mall, 10 minutes or less. If you want to go get some food, right out the door. So everything's just right there, super convenient. I would say anybody who's traveling to China, this is a great city to visit if you've only got, limited amount of time. So if you're only going to be here for like a week, I say choose Hangzhou over the Shanghais and the Beijings and the Shenzhens. I'd say Hangzhou is going to give you a more authentic feel. So Hangzhou definitely is a place where you can call home. It's super livable if you want to stay here for a year, 2 years, 3 years, because it really is a place that I can proudly call home.
If you've been thinking about visiting China, then definitely start to consider Hangzhou as a potential destination. Go see the West Lake, hike a mountain, visit a temple, and eat some amazing food. Hangzhou is the full package, and if you are an expat considering a city in China, Hangzhou has got to be on your short list. You still get the big Chinese city feel without as much of the insane Chinese city crowds. It's beautiful and it's less westernized, so you get an authenticity that you just don't anymore from some of the other cities. It has a plethora of beautiful river walks and some of the best universities China has to offer. It's an exciting city, and like most cities in China, it's growing rapidly. Something I forgot to mention earlier, but it's going to be the site of the 2022 Asian Games. Hangzhou is only the third city in China to be able to host it. And if you get the opportunity while you're there, the Hangzhou Light Show will blow your mind.